Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be talking about INUV. I'm going to go through technical analysis, news, company presentation, what I think about this stock. You'll find at any point, if you feel that you're not catching on with technical analysis, you'll find a playlist in the description below to explain each of these technical indicators and what they mean. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help the channel grow, subscribe, and leave your notifications on. Let's jump right into it. So just for the sake of looking in towards the trends, doing 3 months 1 week here, and what you get to see is that the stock I'm going to go through the volumes. You get to see the stock volume has decreased quite a bit from where it had around the week of 2nd of August. You get to see more of a third week in a row where it's seen decline. You go as well on and see that the MACD has seen a negative reversal, and that's a little bit dangerous there. You get to see as well that the stock moving averages look bearish. Now moving on towards the 1-day perspective, we get to see something very similar here on the MACD. It looks like it might actually be trying to see that reversal, although the last time that did, it sat around here and then was rejected and then fell right back through. So nothing confirming it on the MACD level. Unbalance is a little bit sloppy. ADX shows that there is very much of a possibility of a trend forming here. And the last trading action was a green day, so that is very much possible. Now, moving on towards William percent R, the stock is oversold for quite a bit now. Momentum seems to be curving up. On the moving averages, overall it looks bearish. So the stock price is below the 50 SMA, 30 EMA is above the 10 SMA, and you get to see that the stock price is above the 200 SMA on the blue line, but it's actually touching it. So below the 200 SMA line, it's considered bearish. So you might want to consider not holding this one if it does reach below 36 cents. I'm going to go through supports and resistances and where I think this would hold later on in the video. Now on the 1 hour perspective, I'm going to zoom here just to help you out. There we go. You get to see that MACD is a little bit more sloppy. Nothing significant on the MACD. ADX shows it more sloppy. William percent R is somewhere around oversold and neutral. Moving averages look bearish, but here's the thing. It's in the trading action zone in the last hour of the extended market, which means reversals are likely here. Now, whether that reversal is possible or not, we still need a little bit more data coming in Monday morning, at least in the pre-market. MACD does support more of a sloppiness, so it could be that it's not actually even looking for reversal, it's more of just testing it and then failing again, as it has done for a few days now. Now moving on towards the moving average band, what we get to see on the moving average band is that the stock price is way below there. It's expected to trade between 47 cents and 58, but the moving average is still needing correction, so nothing of significance there. Going on now, we get to look into Fibonacci retracements. And we get to see that there is a significant Fibonacci support at the 33 cents and a 48 cent resistance on the Fibonacci retracements. Now, significant supports and resistance. Now, the main significant resistance, I would say, is the 44 cents. That is a very important one, and that's where you've seen breakouts happen before. Now, it's dropped below there. And above the 44 cent, we're talking about 48 cents. That was where a double bottom was formed before, and it failed on a triple testing for that. Above that, 54 cents. Above that, 56 cents. Now, closer to the price action, we're talking about 45 cents. It seems to be a very important one. Below that, 41 cents. Current supports are sitting at 37 cents as an important one, and then a really strong support at 35 cents. It hasn't even touched there yet, but you get to see around this area here that it was a very much of a strong support, and around here as well. Below that, we're talking about 30 cents. Now, let's hope it doesn't actually fall through towards there. I'm going to go quickly and do Fibonacci arc, something I don't usually do. Well, that's arc. There we go. And nothing of significance that we get to see here that hasn't been played through. I mean, we have bounce here, reversal upwards here. Nothing played on the last arc. So now going on towards news and a little bit more about the company. So what I'm going to do is, before going institutional values, I'm going to go through the presentation. And so through the presentation here, the company at a glance. An executive from the team, from someone of the world's best knowing analytic companies. They have 14 billion transactions daily into the internet cloud Intent Cloud, 13.8 million quarter three revenue, 17 patent and 8 pending with highly differentiated technology for marketing, 60 people in Little Rock. Okay, so looks like it's really nice, quick insight. Now going on towards 2020, one of the latest things, well, of course, for 2020 is the intent key should begin scaling in 2020 with new sales hires starting quarter three, quarter four 2019, and continuing through quarter three 2020. Going on quickly through LinkedIn, we get to see that they have 5 positions for sales director, senior director media sales. So they are actually going on there. One of the newer ones, though, that was posted 1 day ago, is the programmatic campaign manager. I did go through responsibilities. It's a full-time position. It's more marketing towards sales, but it shows in a little bit more of an expansion. Now we're talking about 6 new positions, and I believe on here there's 28 applicants. My bad. It shows here that there is a little bit of growth in the company, or quite a bit. There's 90 employees on LinkedIn, so I believe their number of employees has increased from 60 already. Now, some of the kinds of platforms and search ads that they're going with, things like Google, Bing, Yahoo, PlayStation, Shell, Volkswagen, Post-it, Microsoft, and different other ones here that we get to see in terms of their current partners and people who they work with. So what makes this one special? So the aim for this one here is marketing with integrated AI, from my understanding, based on going through their presentation. And basically, it's more of a simple concept like yoga can have thousands of association, but itself provides no real understanding. And it goes on through basic different philosophies, but it looks quite interesting. If you would like to go on and read on it, this presentation is found on their website. So how does it recognize audience? So we recognize the buyer, we identify buyer uniqueness, such as hobbies, pets, or like different money availabilities and all that stuff. We create audience who share this uniqueness. We place the media that we encounter with audience members across desktop, mobile, connected TV, video, online radio, etc. So it feels it is more of a marketing company, or at least that's where I'm getting to see where it's sitting at mainly. So moving on, we're gonna go through the balance sheet here, and we get to see cash on hand has increased significantly from year to year. Next thing we get to see is total. Okay, so the net seems to be almost exact same thing. As you get to see, a little bit of account receivable, net allowable has decreased in half. Other assets, you get to see almost basically total assets are almost identical. Now moving on towards total liability and stakeholders equity, it's basically very much the same. Now I'm going to go through the actual balance sheets here as well. In terms of revenue, you get to see a net loss of 0.02 compared to 0.06, so that's a decline of 2/3, and that's amazing. But when we look at the exact net loss, we're looking at 1.4 million compared to 2 million. So there is a decrease in revenue, but just mind out that the shares diluted is double. So it's still a really good increase in terms of revenue. Although I did read, though, it has missed its estimate, but estimates are all rough. So I wouldn't touch base on that one there. Moving on, special meeting is happening on October 7th. Now the first mail votings will be on August 31st. They have 2 proposals happening on this one. And the first one is, well, mainly is just really one. The second one, if you don't have sufficient votes, it's to increase the number of shares that they issue from 60 million to 100 million, which suggests as well dilution. And they usually tell you, well, we need to hire more people, we need more assets, and we're trying to raise money. Long term is positive. Short term, people will freak out and sell. So institutional buyers, some interesting positions. Now this is more for funds and ETFs that you see an increase in. Jane Street Group has added around 45,000 shares. Millennial Management 45. Vanguard has increased their shares by 20%. So you get to see a bit more increase until you go last week. BlackRock has decreased by 10%. Morgan Stanley has decreased by 94%. Northern Trust Group has increased by 33. Cattle Advisors 57. But Bridgeway Capital increased by 400. So more of mixed news. Nothing significant that rises for me here. Although some bigger names like BlackRock and Morgan Stanley are a little bit of decreasing their shares. That might be interesting. No significant insider purchases, unless you go back to early on in the year. It was around 1750 when majority of them bought. Moving on, I did have one more. Okay, so I couldn't find anything in terms of the compliance list for here. I found that to be a little bit weird, but I guess they don't have a compliance active listing requirement here. So this one scans for the NYSE, including all markets. So I guess they're compliant based on the NYSE website. I'm not sure if that's in her or not, but I'll take it as that. Now moving on. How would I play this stock? So the biggest concern for me is I want to get a bit of a confirmation that MACD is actually going on towards positive, right? It kind of tricked us around a little bit around the 20th of August. You start seeing curve up and you're like, all right, maybe it's gonna form a cup, and it just dips. Yeah, that's painful. You don't want to be caught in here and then it gets down a little bit more. And without a clear catalyst in mind, well, of course, hiring more people, that's a positive sign. It's a positive sign that the company is growing. And that shows me strength in terms of growth for this company. But when am I going to buy? When am I going to trade into this? I really need to start seeing confirmation on here on the MACD. Now, the biggest concern for me is a weekly trend is that the MACD has gone negative. And I would like to see that reverse. Only then would I consider buying some more. Now, what you could do is try to start scaling down, right? Put 20% off your investment you would like in here. Then dips maybe a little bit more. You put a little bit more. And continue so you get a really nice average down. And sometimes what I do is I average up, right? I put 20% and then you start seeing a really strong strength in the movement. I put another 20%. So it's all depending on your action. Now, for me here, I would hold for this one because it looks like it might have actually almost bottomed out. I mean, when you go on towards the company's history, I'm going to go here. Sorry, my bad. Well, we were going 1 year, 1 day. I know it had basically 10 cents as a low, so it's still around 400%. But you've seen it rally quite a bit up to $1. And that was all the way in June. So if we're talking about a little bit March dip, that's been a little bit of damage there. But it does trade around 30 cents before then on average. Sorry, the screen is a little bit too small. See, but it does give me sense that around the 30, as it did show the supports and resistances, and I'm going to do it right here again. Around this line here, this is a significant one. If it does stay above it, I would consider buying. And if it does dip below, I would consider sells. I would consider putting in your stop limit somewhere around the 29 or 30 cents. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure you mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day.